इसी के साथ मैं आमंत्रित कर रहा हूं श्री जयंत माधव बोरा जी को।
Respected distinguished guests, my friends and my honorable fellow. At first I am very much thankful to Sahitya Academy for giving me such an opportunity. I write short stories and novels mainly in Assamese language. Today I read one of my short story in English. The name of my short stories is Ravana. In Assamese it's pronounced as Ravan. Ravana. Who is Ravan? King, Lord of Lanka. Why do all dislike him? His effigy is bound down by shooting arrow with much jubilation. All rejoice after burning. It is seen in TV also. In this place of ours, also now the drama of Ravan Badh is being practiced. What ill works he had done that he is so disliked by others? Oh, you know, he abducted Sita. And what then? I mean, what else bad works he did? Nothing other than this. For this simple reason should he be disliked so? Have not you seen nowadays the boys of our place keep on enveloping girls by starting talking with them with mobile phone? The girls pretending to go to college travel with the boys somewhere for a few days and then come back home again. Even then, nobody dislikes them. Nobody stages drama with those boys and girls. Nobody burns their effigy too. What silly things you keep on asking. Those who were thinking of the past and these are of present days. You mean this kind of deed was regarded as bad during that time, not at present time? Then those of what act would be said as Ravana at present time? You are too difficult. Tahi saw her grandma being not able to give reply to her question, move away deliberately, pretending as if she was searching some important things, but feeling unhappy at not finding that. You know, a temple is under construction besides the market, which is a little away from the teeny alley. Some people of the locality have been leading a role in it. Other people also participate in the event of Puja, Durga Puja. In the very day of forming these times of Puja or organizing committee, some people of the locality have aired their suggestion for organizing a cultural night during the Puja days by erecting stage near the temple. Nowadays, it has already become customary in every Durga Puja site in Calcutta. Some of the gathering even elevating on one steps further spoke, who else would come up to see singing to the tune of music, devoid of melodies? Better let us stage one drama. Go to hell, your suggestion. In the name of drama, who else would come up for mere listening and viewing to shooting? Some event of mind and body arousing is needed if it is a puja celebration. Oh, don't you know that there are other things to arouse you? They would help you. You would not be able to know if a song is sung or a drama is played. Even then, brother, during the days of ours, there hold a open stage drama Oh, what a nice drama that used to arouse all. This time, let us stage a drama of that type. Let the children experience the type of drama of old days. At the end, a consensus arrived at the decision of staging the Ravan Bod drama. This will fit the occasion of puja also. Further, as the actors would be in royal dresses, they would arouse fully and there would be a arousal in the spectators too. The children would also be able to know the old tradition. From the very first day of rehearsing the drama Ravan Bod, there begin to showering of the warming drink, first under the cover but later on openly. Plainly, the hours of shouting continues from 8th evening till midnight. From that time, this question started a reaction in Pahi's mind. Who is Ravana? Pahi's house is a little away from the temple. House means a shed with 2 ordinary rooms. Pahi's father died in an explosion when she was very young. Her father had been driving auto rickshaw. The auto rickshaw was also not belong to him. He had to pay rupees 100 every day to the owner. The rest amount he saved was his own. Their family ran on this meager earning. Pahi's mother used to save a little bit of this amount. She tamed only one dream, would get an auto of their own. The day's entire earning would be their own if they own an auto. If all money that is earned could be there alone, then she would be able to save money, some of money up there. Saving of money, more money, would enable them to purchase a plot of land for them. If land could not be owned, then a house could be built upon. The small family would be free from any tension if they could build a house. They would be able to bring Pahis up well. A temple could also be built for Pahi's grandma. Good education could be provided to Pahi. This is the dream they dreamed of. The same dream is dreamed by both Pahi's father and mother also. One day, Pahi's father come out home with the auto, taming this dream in his heart. He kept waiting for passengers in the auto stand, but the waiting turned in eternal. A bomb explodes with the big defeating sound, fragmenting the auto and the body of Pahi's father to pieces. A heartbreaking, ugly scene. All the autos in the stand were turned into scrap pieces. The bodies of other co-auto drivers were also segmented into pieces. A quite ugly scene prevailed. What gains are procured in the death of those people? The families of the dead could not think of, but the dreams of the families were broken down. The days of unhappiness, insecurity poured into them. TV channels featured Pahi, her mother, and grandma several times for a few days in their telecast. Known, unknown, many persons visited their houseyard, uttering shaded tone, ish, ish. They counseled them not to worry, given word to provide them money through collection. They have created a scene as if they have taken the responsibility of the entire family. At this moment of standing on a rolling stand, Pahi's mother thought, who says love, kindness, and humanity have come to end? These people will surely keep her living. The people will fulfill her dreamed about Pahi. But After a few days, she felt that these things were not as easy, as simple as she thought of. These commitments, those assurance kept on changing its form with the passage of time. There exists also some small or large interest behind the helping hands and assurance. Pahi's mother, for the first time, became apprehensive. She even did not know tidbit of many things when her husband was alive. Her husband used to tackle everything. After his death, all problems have grabbed her severely. Now, new problems were created even by those people who once had offered their commitment and assurance. The first was her houselord. His fear was, if this woman does not leave his house, taking advantage of the emotional accident, if she settle here permanently, he spoke to her about many problems. Also said how those problems could be solved. The summary of his saying was that Pahi's mother needs to leave the house. Pahi's mother wept, said to some neighboring people, and put a petition in the local Mohila Samiti, women committee, stating about how she could immediately go out with her old mother-in-law and recently puberty attained daughter at the saying of the house lord. Indeed, some time should be given. This made the house lord angry with her. You woman, showing dadagiri to me, even though the land is mine and house is mine? No, this cannot subtune me. If you want to stay, make an agreement. Stay and pay house rent on time. After that incident, the matter of money came to her mind. Money is required for paying house rent, for food, for clothes. Seeing no way out, she took a job of cleaner in a nursing home. It was very painful to her, but serving amidst this. Rehearsal of the drama Ravan Badh nowadays continues till midnight in the nearby temple of Pahi's and her mother's two-room rented house. There is also a club a little apart from the temple. Long back, some of the people of this locality, with their joint effort, celebrated day-long Bihu Sanmilan during Bihu and anniversary of the two saints, Silpi Divas and Rabha Divas. A house was also built with the money collected from the people. Gradually, celebration of the Silpi Divas, Rabha Divas, anniversary of the two saints has become the event of the past, and the boys have started playing carom throughout the evening by entering into the house. After carom, the game of playing cards has come up. In the beginning, the card game was played without involvement of any money, but later it converted into gambling. First, it was played out of sight of people, but later on, it becomes open. First, some one or two persons had taken their 1-2 packs very covertly, but now bottles are openly. Uproar starts as soon as Dax comes over. Sometimes there occurs fighting also among some persons. Now, in one place of rehearsal of Ravan Badh continues in the temple campus, and in the other new generation keeps on enjoying in the club. In one place, the father utters the dialogue after consuming 2 or so many packs, and in the other hand, the son shows his existence in the club by proudly uttering slang words. During the rehearsal time, the noise and shouting float away towards the house of Pahi and her mother. At that time only, she hears the loud horrifying voice of Ravana. Loud, horrifying sounds propagate at the same time from the club too. She finds both the rowing same. The onwards this question hammers into her mind: who is Ravan? Why Ravan, taken as a demon, is killed every year? Part 2. Ravana impressions Sita in Asukaban after abducting her. The Rakshasini, demon and demoness, have been gathering her all around. Seeing all this arrangement, last Sita agrees to marry Ravan. Forceful measures is not wanted by him. Many may be a Rakshas or the king of Rakshas, yet the ideals are not thrown out. He must be having sometimes for which he has been able to rule a large population. He could build golden Lanka, could acquire large power and strength, forget the people, even the duties of have started living with her fear. He could create an environment where all the brothers obey his every word without uttering any single sound. Could all these be possible without having some potential? All could perceive that certain reasons only Ravan abducted Sita. Otherwise, none would forcefully lift up the wife of another person. Maybe Rakshas, but some traditions too are there. Maybe a king, he cannot act all at his will. The rules, on other hand, have to be followed. Actually, Ravan did not go to Panchavati Bon with the sole intention of lifting up Sita. He went on with much anger. As an elder brother who could not silently tolerating the fact of sending his beloved sister with cut nose and eye, what being wrong did she did? Seeing a handsome boy like Lakshmana in her lonely moment in the jungle, she may tense him a little. She may offer her love. She may say, "Come on, let us rejoice a little." Yet is it justified to send her cutting nose and eye? Actually, Ravan with much anger reached Panchavati with the aim of giving one lesson to Lakshmana. But the things went differently after seeing Sita. Ill motives and intention come into mind. The thinking comes to everybody mind in the sight of beautiful lady. But all do not express it, and rather they hide it. Quite strange. After all those, the woman sticked to her decision. All those wealth, common comfort, kingly things failed to deceive her, thinking so Ravana was loitering in his palace. If the once he can use his force and might, who can stop him? Nobody. That means Ravana was not so bad. At this saying about Ravana by her grandma, Pahi concluded that Ravana was not very bad. Bad is bad. What is the point of saying little bad or more bad? Pahi then gets confused. She cannot ask her friends as they are also like her. The elders also respond angrily on being asked about and say, why should a little girl know these things? Certainly, a girl studying in lower primary school need not know about this sin and will know himself when grows up. However, Jahanara, a friend of her, knows many things. Jahanara has 3 elder sisters. All of them have many ill fame. Now, Jahanara also is following the same line. She sometimes says a little bit about this type of matter. This way, they have come to know something. whatever they had heard, sometimes it creates fear in mind, and sometimes it romances their mind. Pahi was very sad on the death day staging the drama. Neither her mother nor her grandma is going to watch the and openly. What missed he did. With the passage of time on that day, her perturbation was increasing, and in the evening she could not keep patience. She, with all confidence, imitated her friends, but all have the same problem. They would not be allowed to go without the company of their mothers. What days have come, the girls cannot even go out in broad daylight and at night alone? Never. For the first time, they have realized that freedom is not applicable to them. Yet, their elder sisters, elder brothers, and even their younger brothers can roam about freely here and there. Oh, when would I be grown up? At last, the saint would not to tie up their legs when they would grow adult. At last, she approached Jahanara. Jahanara was free from any worry. She has no any problem in going to watch the drama. Her elder sisters will be loitering around in the name of puja, and their parents have also no objection to it. Pahi thought, there is no second girl as happy as Jahanara in the world. She can go wherever she likes to. This Jahanara has given her the trick. You come out covertly, watch the drama for some time, and after that return to your home covertly. Your mother and grandma would not be able to know this. Pahi liked the trick given by Jahanara. Jahanara is clever than any of their friends. Perhaps she has become clever by loitering with her elder sisters. Acting on the trick, Pahi covertly came out from her house, taking advantage of darkness and her mother's and grandma engagement in household works. In coming out from the house, Pahi let a mild jerk in her mind. She felt that for the first time in her life, she was done a bad work. She has come out covertly, bluffing her mother and grandma. Though she felt she could not return home, she could not restrict her strong tendency of viewing Ravan. As per the pre-plan, Jahanara was waiting on a road. Suddenly all lighting went off. Perhaps load shedding has begun. She was proceeding ahead with Jahanara, with her Saki heart. On their way amidst darkness in the street, she has been uttering again and again, I will nevertheless come out back immediately after viewing Ravan. My mother will create uproar even a little rate. After a while, both of two halted suddenly when they were close to the club. A number of boys were waiting on the road in the front of the club. Both of them have not seen the boys clearly due to darkness. Even then, knowing the presence of people, they dared proceed. Hardly they could move 2 steps. Suddenly, what happened, they could not guess them. Taking advantage of darkness, the boys dragged both of them away by blocking their mouths. After that, Part 3. Pahi saw Ravana, not one or two, so many Ravana. Their faces were not visibly clear in the dark, but could see the teeth and feel how much ferocious those teeth could be. Very ugly, very ugly. Pahi was lying on the bed of hospital. Till yesterday, she had no sense even, was fighting with death in unconscious state. Today, she has regained sense. She started crying with fear immediately after regaining her sense. She felt as if Ravana will drag her out even from the hospital bed, as if surrounding her, the demons will laugh, ha 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 ha, opening their ugly teeth. All of them will drag her in and out. Her body flesh will be seized. She will cry with pains. The demons will block her mouth so that she cannot shout. She will be suffocated. Thinking so, she shouted out of fright. Her mother embraced her weeping. Sitting nearby, her grandma cries, hitting her force. Her mother can cry, grandma can cry, but nothing they can do other than crying. They have no strength because they have no money, not even power. None gives them importance due to lack of these two things. The boys whose names were told by Pahi and Jahanara could not also be punished by the law of our country. There are two reasons. The boys are not yet adult. Secondly, their fathers have so much money that could be purchased the entire system. After doing a work of annihilation, those two boys could move freely on road without any fear because of those two reasons. Pahi is now a hot news for the journalist, a breaking news. Pahi is thinking Ravana of the older time was much better than those days. He was not wild, was a demon, but his acts were not demonic. The Ravan band was celebrated every year out of hearted towards him. Actually, Ravan of today's are the real demons. The boys jumped upon her body as while primitive breast. The law of our country has relieved them on the plea that they are not adult. Perhaps being not punished, their bravery has increased. Seeing their bravery, perhaps so many Ravan have taken birth and. Part 4. The 12-year-old young Pahi was lying on the hospital bed, becoming anxious to see Ravan. This 12-year-old girl has now become hot news for the journalist, a breaking news.
हमारे अगले कहानीकार हैं मणिपुरी के कथाकार श्री मायंगलम्बम कंदेश सिंह जी.
First of all, I warmly welcome all the members who are present in this beautifully decorated hall of the Northeastern and the Northern Writers Meet 2015. Respected chairperson and the other writers from different states. I am going to read my short story. It is written in English. The name of my short story is Who is the Unknown Person? It was raining heavily when driver Sauba and his second driver were returning home from the timber park with full load of woods in the truck. They wanted to reach home on that day by any means, as Ningol Chakoba festival fell on the next day in Manipur. Unfortunately, they made an accident on the way to home due to brake failure of the truck. Sauba was seriously injured in his right leg, but the second driver was not injured. The second driver immediately informed through his mobile phone to the owner of the truck and also to the family of driver Sauba about the incident. Then he brought Sauba to the general hospital by hiring an auto rickshaw. As soon as they reached the hospital, the owner of the truck also arrived. Thereafter, Nganbi, wife of driver Sauba, and Ibemo, his daughter, who was studying in a college, also arrived simultaneously. Then Sauba was checked by an orthopedic doctor. He was asked to get an X-ray immediately for his injured leg. The X-ray result confirmed that Sauba's right leg was broken in the knee. The doctor advised the patient's party to admit Sauba immediately for an emergency operation at a private hospital known as JK Hospital, where the said orthopedic surgeon was engaged. He was serving both at the government and the private hospital. His plea was that emergency operation was not possible at the government hospital because of other prior schedules. The patient's party had to deposit rupees 50,000 for the said operation. It was a big sum for Mr. Zauber's family. Somehow, the owner of the truck gave rupees 20,000 to Zauber. They immediately deposited it as advance money for the operation, which was to be performed on the next day. Zauber was admitted at once and he was to stay at the JK hospital with the second driver for that night. Nganbi and Ibemu had returned home to search for the remaining amount of rupees 30,000 by hook or by crook. They could not get the money and they were very much worried about it. That night, they were talking on a sorrowful tone about the mortgage of their homestead, which was the only option for them to deposit the due amount of rupees 30,000. Their sleep was disturbed with the thought. When morning came, Ibemu woke up very early, perhaps before daybreak. She opened the front door and as soon as she put her first step outside the door, she stumbled on a package. She was surprised and went back inside the door. Then she awakened her mother and very soon lit a candle since it was not yet morning. Then both of them together came out again of the house and looked at the object carefully. What could it be? It was confirmed that the object was not a bomb, which was quite common in Manipur. Ibemu gently opened the package and checked. She found a gold chain in it. There was no sign or hints of the person who kept the object. Ibemu and her mother thought for a while as to who would be the person. But in vain. They had decided that there would be somebody who overheard their sad conversation about the financial problem the previous night. Perhaps the person might have wanted to help them. They carried the gold chain to the Khwaramban Bazaar, this is biggest bazaar in Manipur, to sell it out in the market price. They got a sum of rupees 40,000 out of it. With the money, they deposited the balance amount of rupees 30,000 to the JK hospital for the operation. Zauber asked Ibemu to his daughter, from whom the big amount was borrowed. Ibemu replied, "Father, don't bother about money. You please pray to God for a successful operation soon." Since they had paid the required sum, the orthopedic surgeon carried out the operation successfully. After 3 days, driver Zauber was discharged from the hospital. Since her father's health was improving day by day, Ibemu started going to the college regularly. She met all her classmates in the college. They knew the reason why she did not come to the college for about 10 days. Ibemu had a fair complexion and also was a beautiful girl with long hair. She attracted some youths of her age in the college. As soon as such, Ibemu herself felt proud. Sometimes she had a habit of expressing her mind out. One Mr. Anjao, who was from a rich family, was also one of the youths who yearned for Ibemu's hand. Ibemu had also felt a little love for Mr. Anjao. But Mr. Anjao was a clever chap and a miser. Ibemu and the Lata were close friends in their class. One day, Ibemu disclosed to Lata the whole story of the incident which happened at their residence during their critical financial problem in the family. Ibemu said, "If I find the person, I will be able to sacrifice for him." Lata answered, "Hi, that would be the handiwork of Mr. Anjao, who is very much fond of you. He might have done that to show you his capability, since he is from a rich family. Would not you ask him for that?" Ibemu said, "No, I won't." Ibemu assumed that Lata might be correct in her guesswork. Next day, Ibemu did not go to the college. In the meantime, when Lata met Mr. Ahanjao, she disclosed the whole story again in detail to Mr. Ahanjao. Lata further said, now Ibemu is searching for the person who put the gold chain at their residence. On hearing it, Mr. Ahanjao wanted to take a cunning advantage on Ibemu at this juncture. Meanwhile, based on Lata's view, Ibemu also wanted to meet Mr. Ahanjao to confirm whether he was the man behind the episode. Ibemu did not know that Lata had already disclosed to Mr. Ahanjao about the incident. So, on the next day, when Ibemu met Mr. Ahanjao, she again narrated the whole story, but Mr. Ahanjao pretended to be innocent. Ibemu said plainly, if I know the person, I will do anything for him. Mr. Ahanjao knew the weakness of a woman. He wanted to take advantage of it at that moment. Ahanjao asked, if the person who helped your family happens to be someone who wants to marry you, what would you do? She replied, I can even sacrifice my life for someone like him. Ahanjao gave a loud laughter before Ibemu and said jokingly, if I disclose the name of the person who helped your family, will you keep your word? Ibemu, being excited, and answered, why not? If you know the person, tell me his name. Who is he? I am ready to sacrifice for him. By saying this, Ibemu held the arm of Mr. Ahanjao as if he was the person. She was eagerly awaiting the answer from Mr. Ahanjao. Mr. Ahanjao said, it is me who helped your family. Ibemu shed tears suddenly and said to Mr. Ahanjao, are you sure? Ahanjao replied, yes. Then Ibemu said, why did you do like that? If you wanted to help us, why did not you come to meet my mother? How much my mother would be happy. You seem to be a coward. Mr. Ahanjao replied, no, I feel a little shy to your mother. That is why I put the object in the dark. And he continued, can you keep your words now? Will you marry me? Ibemu replied, why not? I always keep my words. Mr. Ahanjao said, then let us elope now. Ibemu thought for a moment and replied, let us not do like that. We should perform our marriage according to our Manipuri custom. I like our culture. So you please arrange to send your father and 2 other responsible persons tomorrow at my home for the engagement proposal. Next day, Ahanjao's father, along with 2 other persons, came to Driver Chauba's residence for the proposal. Driver Chauba had also agreed to the proposal without any hesitation because he had already heard from his wife about the big help of Mr. Ahanjao. They immediately fixed the date of the marriage on Monday. Hajingpot, that is Sagai, falls on Saturday, 2 days ahead of the marriage. This is our culture. At night, Nganbi said to Ibemu, my dear daughter, as your father suffered for a long time from a serious accident, he cannot arrange your dowry to your satisfaction. Don't feel self-pity for that. Ibemu replied, mother, don't bother for that. I will not demand any excess item. It is quite okay for me. Next day, in the morning, Ibemu again found another package from the same spot containing 1 bundle of 1,000 notes, that is rupees 1 lakh. Ibemu thought for a moment, our door is just like Kamdhenu, the cow. She imagined that Mr. Ahanjao was madly in love with her, and so he was ready to expend any amount for her. Ibemu checked the package thoroughly, and she found a sheet inside. She opened and read it. Dear Ibemu, when I saw you for the first time, I was totally infatuated by your charming face. So I approached you with my humble intention to make you my life's partner. But unfortunately, it disappointed you. By your harsh words, I was made to think myself undeserving for anything From that day onwards, even if I wanted to see you, I could not reach even near you, but wanted to see your lovely face from a distance as a secret admirer. Thus, my love for you grew day by day. Because of that, I could not leave my rented room for a long time just for seeing you daily. I had been waiting for a chance since a long time to help your family. All my days were spent caring you and your family stealthily. But tomorrow, that is Monday, is your marriage day. If you leave your sweet home tomorrow, I will not be able to see your sweet and beautiful face, and therefore I decided to leave my rented room today. When you reach your new house with a handsome dowry, your in-laws will be very happy and honor you. That is why I am leaving a little amount as my last gift for your marriage. Please forgive me. I am leaving you forever. After reading it, Ibemu's face was fully covered with tears. She dashed to the house just next to hers. She could not breathe properly. She called the owner of the house. "Auntie, do you hear me?" The owner asked, "What's happened? You are so anxious. Say, what has happened to you?" Ibemu replied, "Nothing. I want to ask you for someone." "About whom?" "Auntie, it is Mr. Manglemba, who is in your rented room." "Ah, sorry. He had left for his hometown at Kasar. This is outside Manipur state. In the early morning today, is there anything important you need, my dear?" Ibemu could not reply. Putting her hand in her mouth, she ran back home, weeping all alone. Thank you very much.